Hi there, welcome back. How are you today? So in this beautiful video, we wanted to talk about what resonates with you, paying attention to what feels right for you. In the previous video, we were talking about our paths and how each path is unique. Each path is different. Each path is serving a different soul, a different purpose. Here, it's very important that you take what resonates with you, what feels right for you. Not everything is for your path. You know, my beautiful husband, he doesn't believe in angels, and yet I talk to them. But I don't force it on him that, yes, angels are real and God exists, because I've talked to him too. You know, I've been in God's presence. And usually when you're there, there are no words. You know, there's just no words. But I honor, you know, his path. I love everything about, you know, what he's here for. You know, to be beautifully human, every part of the human aspect. So, you know, with my daughter, the same. Her path is very different. It's very unique. Sometimes with my daughter, I talk to her about the angels or, you know, but not often, because I don't want to influence her path either. I want her to find her own way, to work with what resonates for her, you know, because her soul is here to have an experience too. And from what I've been observing as children, we were so different. I was so different to how she is. So I can't imagine, you know, that she's going to walk down the same path as mine. It feels like it's going to be a very different path. But sometimes in these beautiful videos, we may talk about angels. Sometimes, you know, we may talk about past lifetime regressions. Sometimes we may talk about soul contracts. It's one of my favorite subjects, since I was witness to one of my beautiful soul contracts with my mum. And I've seen others as well. So they're in previous videos as well, where we talk about soul contracts. You may listen to some of these videos and none of it feels true to you. It doesn't feel right, or it doesn't sound true, or you'll know. It just doesn't feel like, yeah, nah. You know, like my husband with angels. Yeah, nah. You know, you can stay with all that stuff. I'm good. You know, I just want to do my stuff, you know. But sometimes things will stay with you if they're meant for your path. You know, you'll notice there's things that they like stick. They're like little seeds that are planted. And they just stick with you for years and years and years. You know, for me, one of those moments was listening to Neil Donald Walsh in a talk he was doing in this retreat, I think it was, that he was holding. And he was saying to the people in the room, there's only one of us in the room. You know, if you think you're separate from the person next to you, cut that out. And at the time, this is 30 years ago. And I did not understand that until a couple of years ago. But it always stayed with me. What does that mean? There's only one of us in the room. What does that mean? You know, I was fascinated by that line. And at the time, I could feel there was a truth in it. It resonated with me, that it stayed with me for 30 years until, the penny dropped. You know, sometimes it's like that. Or sometimes it's exactly what you hear in that moment that creates the awareness, creates the opening of, right, that resonates, you know, that makes sense. It can happen that way as well. I've had a few moments like that as well, you know. But I didn't grow up hearing about angels. In church, they didn't talk about angels at all. They taught us about, yes, they taught us about God. They taught us about the devil, the Holy Spirit, Jesus, Mother Mary, Joseph, the stories in the Bible. But there wasn't much saints. We heard a lot about saints, you know. But when I was growing up, not much talk about angels. I didn't know anything about them, to be honest. I didn't have any information. So, yeah. No, it was just as I was thinking of angels, what was coming through was that, you know, when I started seeing them, the way I see Archangel Michael or Archangel Gabriel or Raphael, I've gone online and I can't find one image that looks like any of them when I see them, you know. And Metatron usually doesn't come in the shape in human form. He usually comes in the shape of something to do with nature, mountains, clouds. It depends on the day, depends on the moment, you know, what's going on. Uriel for me is the only feminine presence apart from Mother Mary. She comes in present as a female presence. I don't know why. For me, I don't know why they want to bring this up in this video. I have talked about this before, but maybe there's someone that's about to listen to this and it's going to be relevant for them. So, again, Uriel has a female presence, but 90% of the time she will come in as a crow for me. A black crow. She looks absolutely beautiful. I love birds, so I don't have a problem with her coming in that way. But, yeah, I don't know why. I don't question it. I do know that they will appear for you in a way that you will accept, in a way that feels comfortable for you, in a way that feels, I guess, familiar. You know, that when you see them, you don't get freaked out. That, you know, Archangel Michael might have 4 eyes or something. They look alien, you know. So that's something that they wanted me to bring. Thanks, Michael. It was just showing me what he looks like if he had 4 eyes, and it looks really silly. But they will come through in a way that you are happy to accept. If you are visual and you're going to see them visually. For me, Mother Mary and Jesus, because we were so drip fed what they looked like in church, they came in exactly how they look like in church, you know, because they probably thought, well, if we come in any other way, she's going to feel, it won't feel the same. You know, I've already got an idea of what they look like, you know, from seeing them so much when I was little. And many people, they can't see these beautiful spirit guides that are on the other side. But you know what we want to bring through is that it's not so much about what they look like or their name, or for me, it's more about the energy that they bring through when they come in, you know. You'll feel the energy shift. You'll feel the energy change within you. Many times in the early days when they would come in, when I would see them, I would just break down crying, just overwhelmed with the incredible amount of love that was coming through, that I just couldn't, I couldn't handle it, you know. It was just too much. I just feel overwhelmed, you know. The first time Archangel Michael came down and stood in front of me, I cried and cried and cried. And it was so beautiful, you know. But I know within me, it's not about how beautiful they look when they come in. Yes, they do. They look amazing. But it's about the energy that they bring through, that beautiful energy of unconditional, unwavering love. You know, that they love you no matter what. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be anything for them to love you. That love is yours always. You know? So that was something that they wanted me to bring through in this video. I'm not sure why, but I never question. You know, when information comes through and I can feel it coming through, I just allow it. Because I know from past videos, you know, sometimes I think I'm creating a video for one person, I'm answering a comment for something, and someone else will send me an email and say, wow, that was exactly what I needed to hear today. You know, I needed that information to get me through, or to assist me with this difficult, you know, situation that I'm in, and I didn't know how to get through it. And I'd be like, wow, I was like, you know, it was for that person, but then like, I wasn't expecting it was going to, you know, affect that person. And so I just trust that whatever is coming through is right for this moment. It will be for someone out there. And like I've said before, if it doesn't resonate because you don't believe in angels like my beautiful husband, that's fine. It doesn't take away from the experience that you're meant to have here. Not all of us are here to wake up. You know, I feel that to be in the presence of angels, to have that clear communication, we do need to wake up. We need to be aware that we are spirit in human form. If we are still living the illusion from this human perspective, we cannot have that communication. And perhaps we are not meant to, for this experience that you're here to have. So knowing yourself, okay, if you don't believe in angels, it's not meant to be part of your journey, and that's perfect for you. But if you feel a strong resonance every time I bring up angels or spirit guides, and you feel like, oh, you know, I really want that in my life, you feel like there's a strong pull, then chances are this is going to be part of your journey. It is part of your journey. Your spirit guides, these beautiful beings on the other side, are with you always, whether you communicate with them or not. They do communicate with you. You know, they know what your path is. The beings on the other side, they can see all the paths clearly. They have all the information of the universe, you know, so they can see your path, and they know when things are meant for you. So they can find ways to get that information to you, you know. But they can't communicate directly with you if you don't believe in them and you don't allow them in. They can't do that because that's your free will. You've decided that they don't exist and you don't want anything to do with them. So they can't just come in and show themselves to you and say, hey, you know, why you keep ignoring me? All this time I've been walking here next to you. I've been sitting here next to you. You know, I'm trying to tell you this is important, but you're just, you know, ignoring me. What's up with that? They can't do that. You have to invite them in. You have to ask them to come in. It's up to you. They cannot come in without your permission. That's how it works. So I know for me, poor Mother Mary and Jesus, I had so much negative inside of me. There was so much negativity against the church and anything that had to do with the church that it took a long time for them to come in. Mother Mary and Jesus, and they were she was the first one to come in, and she was so gentle and so sweet and so, I guess, compassionate and understanding that, you know, she understood, you know. But there's this beautiful love from Mother Mary that's just, it's so different to all the other beings on the other side. And Jesus, well, every time he comes in, I get love bombed, like big time. I feel this incredible love that comes from, I just have a very strong connection to Jesus. There's just something about him. I don't know what it is. But yeah, the energy that comes through when he comes in is incredible, you know. So know within your heart that these beings are always there. They never stop being there just because you don't believe in them, or just because, you know, you can't see them, you can't feel them, whatever else you want to add to that list. They're still there, you know, just as God is still there, or spirit or source, or whatever it is that you want to call it, that beautiful energy that is in everything. It doesn't stop being there just because you don't believe in it. Just like that breath is there, whether you believe in it or not, it comes and it goes every day. So simple, so elegant, so beautiful. The breath comes and the breath goes. And we don't have to do anything to earn that breath. Spirit makes sure that we receive it every day. Everything, the more I look at it, everything in the spirit world is so simple, so simple. There's nothing complicated about the spirit world. So, my beautiful beings, you have your own unique path. It is perfect for you, for your experience. You are where you are meant to be right now. Exactly where you are meant to be. It's not an accident. It's not a coincidence that you are where you are. And it's not an accident, and it's not a coincidence that you've been through all the things that you've been through. You were meant to go through all of that, no matter how hard it was, no matter how traumatic. Every moment gives us knowledge. We get to know what that feels like. We get to know what that experience is like just by being here. It's like going to the ice cream shop and there's 38 flavors. But every time you go, all you ever order is vanilla. How do you know what the others taste like if you never try them? This is what the soul is doing here. It didn't come here just to be joy and love and peace. It gets to do that for all eternity when it's not here. It's what it is. It's what it's made of. This beautiful energy, it's so blissful. So, my beautiful beings, love all of it. Love all of it because your soul chose it for you. Oh, today what was coming through was this free will. I was remembering, this was one of the things I wanted to bring through before I finish. A few years ago, there was this anger coming up inside of me about free will. Because how is it free will if my will is God's will? It's not really free will, is it? It's His will. And if I don't live His will, then I'm miserable. That's basically how I was seeing it, from the ego side, from the separate I. I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, well, hang on a minute, because if it's God's will, and if I'm not doing His will, then what? I can't be happy? I'm always going to be, struggling? What is this, That was me only I'm trying to think now, that was 2021, it's like 4 years ago. It's not that long ago. But I remember having that funny backwards and forwards in my head, and then I couldn't get around understanding free will, so I was like, you know what? I'm done with this free will thing. Then it wasn't until recently that I was given this beautiful information. Your will is God's will. Your soul came here with God's blessing that whatever it wanted to experience was a yes to spirit. Yes. Whatever you want to do, I'm a huge yes. I support you. Go, do that. Experience that. Find out what that's like. I give you my blessing. I'm behind you. I support you 100%. Free will. Your will is God's will. It's like when you see your children succeeding at something and it fills your heart with so much joy. God is the same. He's overjoyed at everything you experience. All the information you are gathering, all the knowledge you are acquiring, all the wisdom. Because remember, you are never truly separate from spirit, just as the wave is never separate from the ocean. And all the information that you gather, all the knowledge, all the wisdom, guess what? God is receiving all of that through you. So yes, you have free will. Your soul chose what it wanted to do here. And God was a huge yes. That sounds great. Let's do that. So, my beautiful beings, you do have free will. You've always had free will. You are spirit. Spirit is you. Spirit is all there is. All right, my beautiful beings. We love you guys. Remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the messages. And we'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye for now.